One of the kids did get hit in the head with something this morning, but that's okay. They don't deserve it. So it's about a guy in Scotland a long time ago. Has anyone ever been? Not King Arthur, before King Arthur. No, we were in Scotland. So in Scotland, there was a guy named Macbeth, and there really was a guy named Macbeth. It was in the year 1000. What year is it right now? 2019. So I remember the year 2000. You guys don't. 2019. So a long, long time ago, there was actually a real guy in Scotland named Macbeth, but he did some good things for Scotland. And some of the things are correct, and some of the things aren't quite correct. So what do you call that? If you read a book that was based on something that really happened, but there was a lot of fictional stuff. Does anyone know what that's called?
What kind of fiction?
Heard of it? It's historical. You're practicing some on. Historical fiction. So it's historical fiction. So there's some things that were real, but the Macbeth in this one, okay. I know that was distracting. And I know my grade 6s will stop talking backstage. So they're very excited because they did it this morning and they were very proud of themselves. So they're very excited to do it again. Anyways, historical fiction. It's a story. It's not a true story, but it's kind of based on stuff that kind of did happen, but not really. Does that make any sense? Yeah. Okay. So you just need to go like this. You don't keep talking. Okay. So we're going to do the play. And like I said, nobody really gets hurt. I need you to make sure your feet stay back there, though, because at some point the kids are going to sword fight. At some point there's going to be witches, but they're not really witches. They're 3 grade 6 kids, right? And there's going to be some sword fighting, and there's going to be some pretending stabbing. But now, you have to promise me that when you go out on your way on the bus, you're not going to get on the bus, grab your water bottles, and start fighting with each other on the bus. Right? You? No? Right? So, please, because I don't want to get in trouble. Because, oh, Miss Penny said we should do this. Yes. That's right. That's what they were practicing. I know I looked a little weird. They were in front of the bathroom yesterday, sword fighting. Yeah, a little bit different than what we normally see. So, you guys I know will be a great audience. Oh, and this was written by a guy named, what's the guy's name who wrote this? Anybody know? William Shakespeare. Alright? So you can go home and impress your family and say, you know what? I saw a Shakespearean play today at school. And Macbeth. Your parents will say, ew, I read that in high school.
I have a story from long ago, a tale of misery, heartache, and woe. My play is flooded with hatred and greed and has a moral we all should heed. So sit back, my good friends, and I will unfold a saga of passion that went uncontrolled.
I convey you to Scotland of yesteryear, a place lost in combat, cruel and severe. A country called Norway, so troops crossed the sea. The Scottish fought back to keep their land free. Smoke and fire thick in the skies, the air thundered with fierce battle cries. The very ground shuddered with fright. It really was a dreadful night. As the men battled with sword and shield, gray shadows appeared on the distant field. When shall we meet again in thunder, lightning, or in rain? When the hurly-burly's done and the battle's lost and won. It is a matter of life and death, and there is only Macbeth. Fair is foul is fair, hover through the fog and fill the air. And they raised their fists, their eyes blazed, and vanished into the gloomy haze. Not far away, Duncan did face a worried look upon his face. He cried out in anguish, "What is Scotland's fate? Is there news of the battle that you can relate?" Malcolm and Donovan, the sons of the king, wondered too how the action did swing. They were with their father to lend their support when a soldier staggered in with the latest report. "What bloody man is this?" "It's the sergeant who saved me." gaunt with gashes to his head.
Our victory is doubtful, he solemnly said. They outnumbered us and had fresh supplies. The clammy air echoed their dying cries. For then in marched Macbeth, his sword held high. For Scotland's honour he fought well. Before him many Norwegians fell. Then triumph, and sweeter than the king was forced to yield. Then triumph was ours on that fair field. But I am faint, my wound cried in the sea.
Quick! Let surgeons intervene. As the soldier limped off, in came worthy Ross, with more news of the combat and a double cross.
King Duncan, I come from the back fife, where many a brave soldier lost their life. The struggle seemed hopeless, their numbers were great, and the Thane of Cawdor we could not locate, because he was a traitor and joined Norway's side, treacherous and treason to go away his pride. But you, Thane of Glamis, should be held in esteem. In this terrible struggle, Macbeth was supreme. He rallied his troops and showed no fear. Because of his bravery, our victory was clear.
And Duncan decreed, pronounce Cawdor's death. With his former title, go greet Macbeth.
Yes, my lord, I'll see it done. What Cawdor has lost, noble Macbeth has won.
Back on the heath, the wind rose to a howl. The air was heavy, the smell was foul. Lightning shivered and thunder made sound. The hags were marched upon the full ground. Where hast thou been? The first witch cried.
Killing swine.
The second replied. But the third bird sister raised her head. Her gnarled hands twisted and crawled outspread.
A drum!
She croaked.
I hear a drum! Listen, my sisters, Macbeth doth come! Thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up nine. Peace!
They said, then peered into darkness, straight ahead. Macbeth appeared on the muddy path, wrapped in the storm's incredible wrath. His good friend Banquo was by his side.
I'm on a horse!
Banquo cried, then he stopped short.
My eyes are dry.
The weird sisters barred the way. Banquo wondered.
I'm in wild? Why be so withered and so wild?
Their icy stare gave Macbeth a chill.
Speak!
He demanded.
It is my will.
The silence was shattered as they rose one by one. None of the sisters would be outdone.
All hail, Thane of Glamis, all hail to thee.
The first of the trio mocked quick.
Hail, Thane of Cawdor.
The next spurned to her feet. Macbeth's heart faltered and missed a beat. Then the third witch rose and covered with laughter.
All hail Macbeth, King of Scotland, hereafter.
These words thundered in his best friend. What more in life was there to attain?
All hail.
Macbeth seemed lost in a kind of trance. Banquo gave his friend a worried glance.
Why may not do few words so sweet? The King of Scotland to be quite a treat. I wonder what else these fancies will see. What does the future hold for me?
The sisters howled a blood-curdling wail. They circled Banquo and cried.
Lesser Macbeth, but greater.
One muttered.
Not so happier, but happier.
The next sputtered.
But you'll be well as the king.
The last said with a frown.
But Banquo will never stand crown.
Macbeth bellowed in fury.
I charge you to stay. From whence did you come? Tell us more, I say. I'm Thane of Glamis by my father's death. But Cawdor's Thane lives, he still draws breath. To be crowned king is beyond belief. We all know Duncan is Scotland's chief. You perfect speakers, a reply I demand.
But like bubbles, they launched into the land. Macbeth gazed about.
Finished into where?
He pulled close his cloak. Had they really been there? Just then, two messengers rode into view. They greeted Macbeth.
Congratulations to you. Glad tidings, great general.
Ross held out his hand.
And the greatest warrior in all of my thoughts filled Macbeth's head. His heart knocked his ribs and filled him with dread. And the spell he was under appeared to subside.
I beg your forgiveness. I was preoccupied. Dear friends, your goodwill is written on my heart, and that to his majesty we must depart.
Later at Forest, there was quite a fanfare. Duncan greeted his knights in his chamber there.
My brave Macbeth, I am in your debt. Your gallant deeds I will never forget.
Then he hugged Banquo in a hearty embrace. Tears of joy flowed down Duncan's face. He announced to his court.
And now for my heir.
Macbeth's pulse quickened. He said a quick prayer. But the king laid his hand on the head of his son.
My eldest child to be Lord.
Macbeth felt faint. His heart turned to life. Duncan had picked Malcolm instead.
The new Prince of Cumberland lies on my way. You must act now. Cannot delay. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires.
Meanwhile, at home, his wife faced around, shadowed by the castle's dreary gloom. A letter arrived from her husband Macbeth, containing a message of life and death. Of strange events Macbeth retold, and glorious honors he did unfold. She read the note again and again, thrilling to its hidden refrain.
Blamest thou art, and Hodor too. Next King of Scotland will be you.
Ambition and power throbbed in her mind.
And yet I fear my husband's too kind.
Then a servant arrived with more news to report.
So soon? Oh, harden my heart. I'll force my husband to play his part.
Macbeth hurried home, as he had said. Disturbing thoughts filled his head. He burst through the door, breathless from his ride, then hastened to her room to be by her side.
Beloved wife, Duncan comes to see.
Her eyes were like steel.
And when does he leave? Your face is like a book, my lord. You must hide your feelings.
Please, Lord.
If, as you say, he comes tonight, Duncan will not see the morning light. I'll arrange it all, I guarantee. Look after your guests. Leave the rest to me.
By late afternoon, the king's party drew near. King Duncan remarked,
Why, it's beautiful here.
Banquo agreed.
It's beyond compare. Even the swallows of the sweet air.
The lady of the house greeted them with style.
Sorry for yours.
She said with a smile. As twilight fell, the castle was aglow. Servants with torches rushed to and fro. What a great celebration, what a jovial scene. The court feasted till its waters were clean.
Macbeth couldn't stand it anymore. He rose from the table and rushed at the door.
There is no reason to do this deed. Just fault and ambition, power and greed.
Macbeth was filled with shame and disgust.
The king is here in double trust. I'm his king, his subject as well as his host. I shall protect him to the utmost. Yet to bear the knife is what I intend. How could I do this to a friend?
Then Lady Macbeth appeared in the gloom.
Why did you hurry from the room? Duncan praises me highly.
Macbeth said in despair.
We'll go no further with this affair. Already,
She mocked.
your resolve does fade. You are a coward. You're just afraid. My husband, you look so pitiful and pale.
Macbeth finally weakened.
But what if we fail? I'll drug the guards. We will succeed. Together we will do the deed. After his death, we'll display our grief. Then, my husband, you'll be chief.
retired to his bed. Morbid thoughts filled Macbeth's head. He rushed outside to gather his wits, his conscience screaming to call it quits. Banquo and his son stood in the dim light. Macbeth's arrival gave them a fright. Banquo drew his sword and shouted, "Who's there?"
Friend,
said Macbeth.
do not despair.
Banquo relaxed.
I've been with the king. He sends to your wife this huge diamond ring.
Macbeth felt disgust at the thought of his crime.
We could have done better if we had more time.
I jumped to the sisters.
Banquo
I
replied.
think not of that.
Macbeth lied.
We'll speak on this further at a later date, but let's get some rest. It's very late.
Macbeth stood alone and gazed at his face. A tormented look came over his face. He saw a sight he couldn't believe, and staggered back.
My eyes were deceived.
A blood-stained dagger hung in midair, twisting, turning, and taunting him there. He lunged for it, yet his fingers passed through.
But what in the world am I to do? This false creation I cannot explain. It holds such power over my brain. I waste my breath. The deed must be fulfilled. Too many words and intentions are killed.
Just then, a bell tolled from the keep. Macbeth shivered.
I hope Duncan is asleep.
The summons filled his veins with fire and beckoned him to achieve his desire. He crept like a shadow down the long wooden hall, his mind no longer his own. His wife waited below, hold his breath. The weapons were ready, everything was intact. All that remained was the final act.
Macbeth returned a ghastly white.
Oh, this is indeed a sore sight. His hands have taken the life of our king. Nothing will heal their burning sting. Through this chamber I did think. A voice cried, Macbeth, God murders me. It was a sound I didn't hear. And still the cry sleeping more.
Lady Macbeth scoffed.
Just let it be.
Her husband replied,
I will never be free.
for in his efforts to reach his goal, Macbeth had murdered his very soul.
His lady began to lose her cool.
You ought to have, but why are you carrying the daggers, you fool? They're evidence.
She continued to fume.
You ought to have left them in the room. Go smear some blood on each guard's face. They'll be suspected when the daggers are in place. And wash that stain from off your hands. If you're caught, it will ruin our plans. Take them back now, I insist. Hurry now, or you'll be missed.
Macbeth shook his head.
I'll go no more. What I have done, I do the floor.
Then I'll do the job. I'm not faint-hearted.
She seized the daggers and quickly departed. Macbeth heard knocking at the south gate. It shattered the silence and did not abate. He trembled with fear and paced to and fro.
Why does each noise appall me so?
Then his wife returned, her hands all red.
There is your color.
The lady said,
Scrub and scour our hands all clean. Duncan's blood will never be seen.
The knocking continued at the castle gate. The porter was in quite a state. Finally, he staggered out of his chair.
Who in the devil's name is there? I'll open his door and had enough.
There stood Lennox and the great Macduff. Good fellow, you're quiet as night.
We were partying, my lord, until late last night.
We're here. We're here to wake up the king. In struck Macbeth, these words did sting.
Well, come.
He smiled.
I'll be your guide. Grateful for that.
Macduff replied. Macbeth led the way, his mind sunk in gloom. He tried to sound cheerful,
Here's the room. Thanks again.
said Macduff in a friendly tone.
I'll take the liberty to go in alone.
Out in the hall, Lennox trotted away.
Was it all done?
Macbeth quietly said. A deafening scream pierced the air. Macduff reeled from the chamber.
Oh, horror, horror! King Duncan is dead! Murder, treason!
He cried in dread.
Approach the king's room, destroy your sight with the cruelty of this blight.
Macbeth and Lennox hastened through the door. Macduff continued to imploit.
Awake, awake, sound the alarms! Who would do our king such harm?
His voice thundered through the walls. Nobles and servants rushed into the hall. Bells rang out and torches flared. Lady Macbeth dashed in, looking scared.
Macduff, tell me, I pray, what's the cause of your
My
dismay?
gentle lady,
Just asked Matilda.
tis not for you. The said report is not for you.
Then, in a daze, he saw Banquo, his friend.
His Majesty's life has come to an end. King Duncan was murdered and just left.
Oh, let us cry, Banquo wept. Macbeth returned.
Life is worthless.
He cried. Then in came the king's son, side by side. Macduff replied.
Your father's been slain.
Malcolm gasped.
Good heavens, no, who would dare strike the blow?
It appears his guards committed the deed. The noble Lennox did concede.
They stared at us and were amazed.
But I'm sorry.
Said Macbeth.
I went on a rampage. I killed them both in my terrible rage.
Macduff faced Macbeth.
Wherefore did you so? You destroyed the proof, didn't you now?
Macbeth's nods were ready to break. His lady knew that all was at stake. She swayed in a faint.
Help me!
She cried.
Look to the lady.
Macduff complied. As the servants carried her away, Banquo trembled in shock and dismay. He held up his sword.
Hear me all, I'll use my power, the guilty shall fall.
Macduff continued.
I'll find who's to blame.
Macbeth agreed.
I'll do the same.
The sons of the king had no time to grieve, for they were getting ready to leave. They whispered their plan in secret fear, worried that someone might overhear. Malcolm shivered in the morning chill.
Whose blood will be next to spill? My father's murder is not known. I am his heir, the mark of the throne. All lords shall grieve, but is it real? Or do they hide how they really feel? There's daggers and smiles,
Bonnie agreed.
danger lurks here. We better take heed. It would be no use
He told his brother.
to kill one of us without the other. We'll separate and say farewell to one our own death. No, I will quickly run to our to England on journey.
Malcolm complied. The two embraced, broken-hearted, and within the hour they had departed. And so the day passed, overwhelmed England, and all men in Ross spoke a great deal.
In all my years, I must confess, I have not seen such dire distress. The time tells us
Said Ross.
that the day has begun, yet darkness remains and chokes out the sun.
Macduff appeared.
The Sumner suspects that they have fled. Macduff will be king.
Macbeth sighed. The nobles have chosen. They'll not be denied. Indeed, Macbeth's words proved to be true. At Scone, Macbeth made his royal debut. Banquo thought.
Now all is fulfilled, just as the faithful three has willed it. Was Glamis, the Cawdor, and finally King. My friend Macbeth was everything. But a fear he played proudly to take the crown, and it could bring him crumbling down.
Macbeth arrived, looking regal indeed.
A feast is planned. Banquo, your presence we need. You figures on Leon's riding today?
Yes, your majesty, and we mustn't delay. By return tonight we will supper of state.
Macbeth thanked Banquo.
Please don't be late.
As Banquo departed, Macbeth paced the floor.
There's not a man tried here more. His sons will rule the riches have shown. My life is empty with no heir to the throne. Have I lost my honor so his sons will reign? Have his gained my soul for Banquo's gain? Never,
He cried.
I will challenge this fate.
Then two ragged men arrived in the street. He told these murderers to ride very fast.
We must not let Banquo fly off the path. In time to take him, they must die.
For the royal couple, there was no peace of mind. They now lived in terror and couldn't unwind. The lady sighed.
Yet now we live in fear of what might transpire. Macbeth, why do you stay alone? What's done is done. You have the throne.
Bold scorpions is my long, which reason and turn away while Henry's dying. The Banquo still lives, so I must proceed. What dares one the innocent have to be?
Come, good husband, be friendly and bright. Enjoy your party and guests tonight.
And at the feast, perfect toast. Macbeth rose from his chair.
I propose a toast.
Out of the corner of Macbeth's eyes, he spied the murderer's cold slab. He left the table then and there to inquire if it was in fair.
Is that blood upon your face?
Yes, indeed, 'tis Banquo's your grace.
He dived and raised his head. I'm sorry to say, Leon has fled.
Macbeth was distressed, that was plain. Fear and resentment gripped his brain. Said Ross.
I'd love to,
Said Macbeth.
but where? There seems to be no vacant chair.
Lennox replied.
Here is your spot, Your Majesty. Why do you look so distraught?
Macbeth had turned a deathly way. He shook and trembled at the sight. The bloody Banquo was in his place, a dreadful look upon his face. The lords on the table saw nothing at all. Macbeth shuddered and backed to the wall.
I'm not to blame. Can't you see? Shake not thy boy walks at me.
Ross leapt to his feet.
His Highness is ill.
Lady Macbeth cried.
Gentlemen, be still. He's had the attacks since he was a lad. They make it appear he's going mad. Sit, worthy friends, I pray you remain. As a new king, he's under great strain.
She took him aside.
You are a fool. My husband, you look upon a stool. For shame.
She hissed.
Show you're a man. Come back to the table. Stick to our plan.
The ghost dissolved into the air. The lords were astonished, waiting there.
Macbeth strained hard to collect his wits.
I'm sorry, friends, I'm coming to this fit. Happiness and cheer I do bestow.
He raised his glass.
To beloved Banquo.
To Banquo.
Then he shrank back in dismay.
Gone, leave me alone, I say. Repulsed like a tiger or bear in the night. I'm not afraid if I can fight.
Once again the ghosts fitted with grief.
He's disappeared.
Macbeth sighed fully. Lady Macbeth announced.
The party is done.
The guests left slowly, one by one. Macbeth sat brooding, his thoughts far away.
Dana Fife didn't come today. I wonder if he's hatching some plot. My spies will discover what I cannot. Tomorrow I'll meet the witches three and ask them what they predict for me.
The sisters were hidden in cavern deep. Around the cauldron they did creep, with their hands so quickly tied. They stirred a stinking putrid slime.
Double, double, toil and trouble, bodies is burning, cauldron double. Lilies, many snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Others fork and blindworm sting, lizards leg and howl and swing. Glory boon. Dust and creep, holy, now the cell's complete. And I found something wicked this way.
Macbeth strolled in.
Answer my demands, you secret hags. Where does my life stand?
The witches shrieked.
Cauldron top, shades of evil and chant and stop.
From the simmering pot rose an armored head.
Macbeth, beware Macduff.
It said, the spirit dissolved into the steam. A newborn child appeared like a dream.
Be bloody, wolf, fear not your death. None of the Lord shall harm Macbeth.
Oh, good warrant. That's impossible, you see. Then the Thane of Christ has no power over me.
The image faded, and in its place, there was another unusual face. It was a child in a regal gown, a branch in its hand, and wearing a crown.
Macbeth never made his speed until great bird would be Stoneson Hill.
I'm invincible. All foes, all profound. We all know trees can't move around. These powerful visions do assure that as king of Scotland I am secure. I'm deeply indebted and most impressed, but I do have one final request. Will Banquo's children rule after me?
Speak no more.
Cried the witches three.
Reveal her at once, I insist.
The hags conceded and together hissed.
Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Majestic kings appeared in a row, carrying scepters, their crowns aglow. In single file they marched past Macbeth. The smile faded, he gasped for breath.
Earl Banquo, how can this be? 4, 5, 6, that's 7 I see. A word most like this I can't stand.
And in came the 8th, a mirror in its hand. Kings and more kings were reflected there.
Does it ever end?
Macbeth cried in despair. Banquo's ghost stood at the end of the line. He smiled at them, saying, "These kings are all mine." This was exactly what Macbeth feared. Then the witches and cauldron all disappeared. Macbeth collapsed and staggered to his feet at the sound outside of a thundering beat. He called for his men who guarded the cave.
Did you see the witches?
Nothing did I pursue except men on a horseback who brought you news. Macduff has fled to England, they say.
Macbeth was enraged.
No more delay. Macduff has sealed his family's doom lies. Will take his castle by surprise and over the death of his whole crew, his wife, his babes, and servants too.
Back at fight. Back at Fife, Lady Macbeth is distraught. Lost my soul. The lady turned to her son.
Your father's a traitor.
I don't believe you. We'll come back soon. And a messenger arrived.
Danger is near. I must leave now, my lady. I can't be found here.
But alas, the warning was delivered too late, and Elmer Castle met a horrible fate.
Meanwhile, Malcolm was in England's court. Their king had offered his support. Macduff arrived to nourish Malcolm back.
Our poor country suffers. We must attack.
Malcolm agreed.
We won't be delayed. The brave will see me snatch I never gained. We'll march with him and 10,000 men, and Scotland wants be ours again.
Just then, faithful Ross rode in on the steed.
Sorry to report another foul deed. Despite not my tongue for the news I bring,
Ross added.
it's the work of the king. Your castle's been surprised.
He solemnly said.
Your family's been murdered. They're all dead.
My wife, my beloved one is here.
And down his cheek there rolled a tear.
Did you say all? My fear is true. All my pretty chickens in one close. That tyrant has a heart of stone. Such sorrow I've never known.
Malcolm exclaimed.
Let not your heart. Let grief change to anger, and we will depart.
Duff rose in fury.
He'll die by my sword. I'll get my revenge. To Scotland, my lord.
Meanwhile, Macbeth moved to Dunsinane Hill. In the castle there, his wife was quite ill. In the dead of night, through the hall she crept. Her eyes were open, yet she was asleep. Her servant was horrified by the strange scenes. She called for the doctor to intervene.
We will know her mumblings.
The doctor said, but what they heard filled them with dread.
He had so much blood.
Sighed the queen.
Will my hands clear me, please?
She rubbed them together in dismay.
Yet, here's a spot. How would I say? All the perfumes cannot sweeten his hand.
The lady looked pale and could hardly stand.
What's done cannot be undone.
She said. Then she drifted out.
Sit back.
The doctor exclaimed.
I'm amazed by the sight, I think, but I dare not speak tonight.
Now Scotland grew tired of Macbeth's cruel reign, so the thanes all gathered near Dunsinane. They marched together toward Birnam Wood, and with the English army stood, Malcolm greeted them with pleasure and pride.
Thank you for fighting by my side. Friends and kinsmen, the day is near. When our land will be safe and will live without fear. Every soldier must cut a branch from the trees
and hide himself behind one of these. We'll shower our numbers as we move uphill. Macbeth won't guess our numbers still. Together our armies will fight as one. The battle for Scotland has just begun.
Back in his castle at Dunsinane, Macbeth prepared for war once again. He was convinced he would never fall.
Hang out the banners on the castle wall. Let them desert me.
His rage was severe.
Till burning wind moves, there's nothing I fear. Seek it, my arm ride man.
And he called the doctor who was close at hand.
How's my wife feeling today?
The doctor replied,
She's not sick of body. It's all in her mind. There's no cure that I can find. The screams of women filled the air, but did not give the king a scare.
Once I have cringed at such cries in my ear. Now,
He said,
there's nothing I fear.
Seton announced,
The queen is dead. She should have died hereafter.
Macbeth said,
Life's a trivial tale, and all this time, each day rattles on one by one, and we get closer and closer to dusty death.
life had lost all meaning for Macbeth. A terrified messenger burst through the door. His face was pale as he crossed the floor.
As I stood my guard upon the hill, the trees of Burnham moved at will.
Liar and slave, I'm not amused. Trees don't walk, we must be confused.
But the words of the spirits echoed in his brain.
For burning wood moves and Dunsinane.
Could it be true? Had he been misled?
We'd better prepare.
That's all that he said.
Ring the alarm, we will attack. At least with blood on our back.
Meanwhile, his enemies crept forward on cue, behind their branches, hidden from view. Put out your screens, Malcolm cried. The brave, see, as your troops come to the left. Seaward advance your troops in the west, Macbeth and I will command the rest. Seaward sun, how we fell first.
You, my friend, are a woman born. You can't harm me.
Macbeth said with scorn. And though young Seaward was brave and bold, slain by Macbeth as the vision foretold.
In came Macbeth, across the field, spotted the king.
You're in scoundrel heel. Get thee back.
Macbeth trying to sting.
Spare the dog. You are a woman born no never shall be protected by a spell, you see.
Macbeth laughed in derision.
I'm not woman born. I was a beast. My mother's womb was merely torn.
The moment of truth had finally arrived. In the duel that followed, only one survived. The best body on the board so bleak. Too much glory for trying to see. He lost his castle, his army, his wife. Ambition and greed cost him his life.
So, once more in Scotland, calm was restored. Malcolm was crowned king, the country's new lord. Duncan's son was a breath of fresh air, cared for his people in their welcome. The crowds all cheered,
Hail the Lee!
from tyranny they had been set free. The fear and agony finally did cease, and Scotland was once again at peace.
What can we learn from this tale of strife as we make decisions in our life? Don't lose your honor as you reach for your dreams. Don't lose your virtue, your self-esteem. Remember Macbeth, he wanted it all. It brought a quick rise, but a swifter fall. And most of all, when he met his end, Macbeth died without a single friend.